All right, let's talk about Chase Young and the San Francisco 49ers. Chase Young joins the 49ers with a trade. A lot of talk about how is it going to go with them? What is he going to bring to the table? One thing worth noting, Chase Young now wears number 92. That kind of throws me off a little bit because I'm used to seeing him wear 99, but no, 92. Okay, so that's notable. You see him going up one-on-one against left tackle Tristan Wirfs, who's, great player, one of the best tackles in football. So, a tough competition for him. Now, it is worth mentioning, so this is going to be the sack he had against Tampa Bay, and it is worth mentioning, he knows it's a passing play. The game is practically over at this point. There's only like a minute left, and Tampa Bay is down multiple scores, so you're more or less just trying to rack up stats here if you're an edge rusher or if you're a, offensive player. But still, if you're an offensive lineman, you're still trying to avoid letting your quarterback get hit, right? You're not trying to, give up a sack here. So while maybe it's a bit of an easier situation, you can just purely pass rush. That happens all the time in a game, so it's nothing like crazy. Watch as when this play begins, you see that it's really going to be the, Tristan Wirfs' left hand. That's always so important, right? If you're a left tackle, it's going to be your left hand because, that's where you have to make sure you make the primary point of your contact here. Typically, you want to get it usually further up and probably kind of on the pec or even the shoulder pad area would be where you'd like to have that hand, but it is not currently there. Young did this by taking a bit of a wider angle, which has its pros and its cons, right? The obvious con is if Baker Mayfield steps up in the pocket, you could get pushed behind the quarterback, but the pro is you can set up a situation like this where Wirfs doesn't have the correct hand placement. And then you see the strength of Young come through. He is able to get to Baker Mayfield for a sack right there. So really good play there by Chase Young. I'll be honest, Chase Young isn't exactly, I think that maybe we came in to this hoping he would be like Von Miller with the Rams. It hasn't quite been that, right? He hasn't came over and just completely changed the way the 49ers look. They still look very good, but he has helped. And I think that's still an important aspect. You don't need him to be Von Miller, right? Can he come in and be a good number 2 pass rusher? I think he's done that so far. There's plays like this which don't show up in the stat sheet because so much of what a pass rusher does doesn't show up in the stat sheet, right? I mean, you have 1 sack a game, you might lead the league in sacks that year, right? But obviously there's so much other stuff. Something like this where it's going to be a stunt right here. You have the interior defensive lineman moving in a way to try to get the guard to move towards the offense's left. The center happens to be blocking towards the right on this play, which, is probably helped set up by Fred Warner looking as though he could be blitzing, even though he isn't. And then for Chase Young, he hopefully can run through, get a straight shot in between the guard and the center. Watch as, when this play begins, you see that Young at this point, there is a window to get to Baker Mayfield, and Mayfield, to his credit, does notice this. Watch as Mayfield kind of moves to the, offense's left, but at that point, there wasn't really a lot he could do, runs to pick up what he can right there, but really that was just a good play by Chase Young, and a good play by the 49ers in general to help scheme stuff like that up, and again, okay, Chase Young didn't get a tackle on that play. He didn't get a sack on that play. And I don't even think he got a pressure on that play, if we're being honest. I'm not sure if they would have graded that as a pressure. Maybe you do. I would have, but again, sometimes graders do things, make weird decisions. But it's just the value and just being able to do that and getting pressure with guys who aren't Nick Bosa, right? Nick Bosa is going to get a ton of pressure, and you have other guys who can get pressure too, but you want to get as much as possible without Nick Bosa because you just know Bosa is going to give you X amount of pressure a game anyway, but you want to try to get more than that, and that's what they did with this play. And this one's another one where, again, it's one-on-one against Tristan Wirfs, who, like I said, tough matchup. This is not an easy situation to come out looking good in, but watch what happens. So, you're going to see Mayfield takes the snap, and again, it's that left hand. You see how Young has, he's holding Tristan Wirfs' left hand. So, because of this, it just makes this block, I was going to say so much harder, but that's probably not even fair. It makes it nearly impossible to make a block like this. Young is able to get over, and at this point, I mean, what can Wirfs do? Really nothing. He has to push Chase Young behind Mayfield, and Mayfield, again, to his credit, does see this. He realizes the situation. Okay, I got to step up in the pocket, right? That's what Mayfield has to do. However, when he does that, he ends up getting stepping up into other pressure, right? I mean, we kind of view pass rush almost as like an individual sport sometimes, but it really couldn't be further from that. There's so much teamwork that goes into it, and you need to get you need multiple things to happen, right? You either need great coverage or you need pressure coming from multiple different directions. A lot of times you need all of that for it to work. So yes, again, don't get on a stat sheet for something like this. You get a pressure, but that's all you get on a play like this if you're Chase Young. But forcing a quarterback to step up in the pocket still adds a lot of value when you have this pass rush that can get pressure from the inside as well, and that's what Chase Young did on this play. Also, just some small things. This isn't a big play whatsoever, but it's, I think, worth talking about. It's just you're having extra help, right? And it's not like there's only extra help on one side of the field. You have Nick Bosa also going to be getting chipped here, and I imagine with them taking the snap inside the 10, it would still probably not be in safety territory, but you want to be extra careful here if you're Tampa Bay. But still, they're putting extra pressure on Chase Young. Like, watch, Chase Young, is he able to do anything with the double team? Well, no. I mean, again, the ball came out under 2.5 seconds. You're usually not going to be able to do something with that. But still, this was a good example of you're just adding a little bit of extra help, right? That little value might not mean a lot in a specific play, but over the course of the game, these little things do add up. And over the course of a season, these things do add up. There's value there. And then also going over to something like this, I think is another interesting play. Because, I've showed a lot of him going up one-on-one against Tristan Wirfs, that's hard. That's a tough situation to find yourself in. It's tough to win. But what happens when you're not doing that? Like, it's actually a couple players who he's going to go up against. But first, it's going to be the tight end who's lined up, on him right here. Watch Chase Young really immediately get past Ko Kieft, who's been kind of that tight end fullback hybrid for Tampa Bay, who, again, he's in there to block. Well, Chase Young got around him pretty quickly right there. Unfortunately for him, there's a tight end who is flashing from the offense's right to the offense's left, so there still is someone who can come in and make a play. It's not like Young now gets a straight shot towards Mayfield. However, watch Young still blow by him. Didn't quite get the pressure as the ball came out quick enough, but again, these are plays which will start to get pressure, will start to make things happen. So as a whole, Chase Young's been very good. And really, Chase Young's been good his whole career when he's been healthy. Like, the issue of Chase Young has never been he isn't good when he's playing. The issue has been he isn't always playing. Well, here he was, very good and playing, which is nice to see for the 49ers. And while we've yet to see kind of that game where, I feel like the pass rush is just, it happened against Jacksonville, right? That was a big game where they were able to consistently get pressure. This one might be, I think, a better indicator of what's going to happen in a playoff setting when, with the exception of Jacksonville, you don't have that many teams with bad offensive lines that are looking to make the playoffs. But I think this game kind of shows that he can still add a ton of value even against one of the best tackles in football. And to me, that's almost more exciting than seeing him add value against, not a great offensive line. So yeah, those are my thoughts with Chase Young. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.